Today our lesson is on two-step equations. We've already gone over one step, so this is just going to be putting an addition and subtraction together with a multiplication and division to solve one problem. If you haven't already, come get this worksheet from me. Once we finish filling it out together through this video, you're going to tape it into your notebook so that it will be right there for your notes. So this should be taped. Once we finish these notes, you're going to have to bring me this worksheet completely filled out in order to get your assignment. So make sure that you follow along as I work through these and write them down. Number one says m plus 12 equals 10. Okay, to solve this, the first thing we're going to do is get rid of that plus 12. This is a review from last week. So if I've got addition, the way to undo it is to subtract. This makes a zero pair, so I get m equals negative 2. When I say zero pair, that means when you add them together, you get 0. So if you make this little z, it helps you know that that is 0. So m equals negative 2. Number 2. Number 2 says negative 2 equals g minus 9. Now on this, remember, you've got to get rid of whatever's on the same side as your variable. So on the same side as my g, I've got a minus 9. So to undo that, I do the opposite. Plus 9 on both sides. On the left, I get a positive 7. On the right, I get g, and my negative 9 plus 9 zero out or cancel out. So my answer is 7 equals g. Number 3. Number 3 says negative 7y equals negative 91. Now the negative 7 is being multiplied times the y, so to undo it, I need to divide both sides by negative 7. Okay, when I do that, these cancel to 1. Okay, negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1, so I'm left with a y. And then negative 91 divided by negative 7 is a positive 13. So y equals 13 in this case. Number 4. Number 4 for our notes says a divided by 9 equals negative 4. Canceling out this divide by 9, I want to do the opposite, and I want to multiply by 9. Again, this cancels to 1. I'm left with a equals negative 4 times 9, negative 36. So my answer in number 4 is a equals negative 36. Now for number 5. Number 5 says 2/3 x equals 10. Okay. Now, on the left-hand side of this paper, it says fractions. To get rid of a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so fill that in on the left-hand side. To get rid of a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, the reciprocal means just to flip it. So, right here, to cancel this out, I'm going to multiply by 3/2. Those cancel, and I'm left with x. Multiply this side by 3/2. Now, the easiest way to do this is to take my number, my integer, multiply it by the numerator, divide by the denominator. So, 10 times 3 is 30, divided by 2 is 15.
30 divided by 2 is 15.
Sorry, apparently Siri thought I needed her help. Anyways, back to what I was saying. 10 times 3, do that first, is 30. Then divide by your denominator of 2, and you get 15. Number 6. Number 6 says 4/9 times w equals negative 8. Again, to cancel out a fraction, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, 9/4. So I get w on the left equals negative 8 times 9, so negative 8 times 9 is negative 72, divided by 4 is negative 18. So again, negative 8 times 9 is negative 72, divided by 4, I get negative 18. Number 7. Number 7 says negative 6/5 k equals 12. Now, like we did earlier this year, if it's negative, put it with the numerator. It'll make your life much simpler. So, doing the reciprocal, 5 over negative 6. I want to multiply by that. So I get k equals 12 times 5, which is 60, divided by negative 6 is negative 10. So k equals negative 10. Number 8. Number 8 says negative 1/2 m equals negative 9. To get rid of my negative 1/2, I want to multiply by 2 over negative 1. Alright, so these cancel on the left. I'm left with m. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18, divided by negative 1, positive 18. Now you can always go back and check these. So you can always fill in what you get for your variable and work it out and make sure that the left and right sides do match. Okay, number 9. Moving down to the bottom. These are our actual two-step equations. Notice at the top, very important. First thing that we want to do is undo addition or subtraction. The second thing we want to do is to undo the multiplication or the division. Very important that you don't mix these up. We've got to get rid of addition or subtraction first. Then we want to look at multiplication or division. Alright, so here we go. Let's look at number 9. Number 9. This says 6x plus 8 equals 50. Alright, the first thing I want to do is undo addition or subtraction. So I see a plus 8. To undo that, I'm going to do minus 8. So I get 6x, this zeroes out, equals 42. Now it's just a one-step equation. So, since 6 is being multiplied, I need to divide by 6. And I get x equals 7. Now again, you can check this. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 8 is 50. 50 equals 50, it does check. Alright, let's look at number 10. Number 10 says 2x minus 5 equals 11. To cancel out the minus 5, I do the opposite, plus 5 to both sides. 2x, these zero out, equals 16. It is now a one-step equation. To undo my multiplication, I want to divide. So I get x equals 8. Now those are the easiest two-steps equations because they are in that order. You're going to have to be really careful when we start mixing it up. So let's look at number 11. Number 11 says 13 equals negative 4x plus 9. So now I'm looking at this. I'm only working on the side that has my variable, so that would be the right-hand side. I'm looking for anything that's been added or subtracted. That would be the plus 9. To undo that, I want to do minus 9 on both sides. So I get 13 minus 9 is 4 equals negative 4x. 9 minus 9 is 0. So dividing by negative 4, I get negative 1 equals x. Number 12. Number 12 says 7 minus 3x equals 34. In this case, my variable is on the left-hand side. Also, be very careful. Many people want to say plus 3x, but I don't want to move my variable until I've gotten rid of everything else. So I need to get rid of this 7. Now, if there's not a sign in front of my 7, it's really a plus. So to undo that, I need to do minus 7, minus 7. This zeroes out. I've got negative 3x. I know that looks like a minus sign right there, but it really becomes a negative if there's a 0 in front. And then 34 minus 7 gives me a 27. Last step, simply divide by negative 3 because it's been multiplied by x. So I get x equals negative 9 for number 12. Number 13, we switch it up just a little bit. Number 13 says x divided by 2 minus 7 equals 9. I've still got to get rid of addition or subtraction first. So plus 7, x over 2 equals negative 7 plus 7 zeroes out. 9 plus 7 is 16. Now, the x is being divided by 2. So to undo division, remember we're going to multiply by 2 on both sides. 16 times 2 is 32. All right, number 14. Number 14 says 11 equals x divided by negative 5 plus 8. I'm looking on the side with my x, so that's the right-hand side. I need to undo my plus 8 or my constant first. I undo that by subtracting it. 11 minus 8 is 3. X over negative 5 on the right. Now, to get that x by itself, I want to multiply, do the opposite of divide. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. And those cancel, so I'm left with x. Negative 15 equals x. Almost done. Number 15. Number 15 says 3/5 x plus 22 equals 28. My first step is to deal with my constant, so that's my 22. I want to subtract that on both sides. That leaves me with 3/5 x, this zeroes out, equals 6. Now remember, to get rid of a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal. On the left, they cancel. I'm left with x. Remember, 6 times 5 is 30. 30 divided by 3 gives me 10. So x equals 10. Number 16. Number 16 says negative 1/3 x plus 1 equals negative 7. I'm dealing with the left-hand side because that's where my x is. Subtract 1. When I subtract 1, I get negative 1/3 x. This zeroes out. Equals negative 8. Canceling this, I multiply by the reciprocal. 3 over negative 1. So I get x equals negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. Divided by negative 1 is positive 24. So x equals 24. At this point, your worksheet should be completely filled out. So, at this point, you need to come get a worksheet. The worksheet looks like this. You'll need to bring me your piece of paper with your notes. Let me check it, and I will give you this equation maze and explain to you how to work it. Make sure that you tape these notes in your notebook for our notebook check that we will be having on Friday. If you have any questions, please come see me.